So I'm Carol Fletcher, for those of you who don't know me, and I'm chair of the journalism department here. And right next to me is Carl Corey, and he's in charge of all online local news. He's the online local news editor at Newsday. Margarita is the talent acquisition manager for News 12 Networks. Ann Bernswig, who's the News 12 Long Island newsroom coordinator, and also happens to be executive assistant to Pat Dolan, who, as you probably know, is president of News 12 Networks.
The internship program at News 12 Long Island and News 12 Networks in general is huge for us. It's a very important program that we take very seriously at News 12. One of the benefits of News 12, we're a local station, it's such a hands-on internship. You're really, really learning and doing so much, which is great. And we just ran some numbers and did some metrics for us. And the way that it usually works, it's hard. It's really rare to graduate from school and get a full-time job right away in this industry. It's a very competitive industry, and a lot of times what we do is we bring on temps, freelance people, right? So you could be a temp PA, AP, whatever the case may be. You get your foot in the door, you get training, and a full-time position opens up, and very often we'll look within that pool. But what helps with our interns is if we have really strong interns that came in for a semester and really blew everybody away, took initiative, worked hard, asked questions, did what they needed to do, and we have freelance openings, one of the first places we're going to look is, what recent intern did we have that was really good that we know we could bring in and give the right training and they could become a temp employee with us. And that temp employment very often goes into full-time employment. So that's a really good way to think about a good career path for you if this is what you want to do, because if you don't start with the internship, if you don't get that hands-on experience and all you have is school and classes, you're graduating and you're competing with hundreds of other people who are graduating looking for those same entry-level positions. So you want to get yourself seen and known and really make a great impression.
Cover letter's got to tell me about you. The cover, with the resume, you're telling me a little bit about this is where I've worked. These are the details of what I did there, but here's some standout, and this is what makes me stand out as an individual. That cover letter should not be a copy of the resume. If it's a copy of the resume, then I only need the resume. I will say that for Newsday, for both Newsday, if you want to write for the Long Island desk on the print side generally, or for Newsday.com, it's an online form, so you don't have to necessarily worry about your resume so much. But you do have to worry about it when you come to a resume fair.
Mm-hmm.
But the cover letter is really, really important to be able to not only is it going to tell me a little bit about you, but it tells me how you write, how you think, that you pay attention to detail. It tells me about grammar, it tells me about punctuation, it tells me how you are as a journalist. Tell me an interesting story about you that I wouldn't know otherwise.
I expect you to be on time, even a little bit early. Don't be late, because that immediately tells me I can't count on you, and our industry is full of deadlines, and if you can't meet a deadline for an interview, you're not going to meet deadlines when you're here working in the shop. So that's one. Two, dress as if you really want the job. It doesn't mean you're going to dress that way for every day at the internship, but that tells me that you care enough that you want me to take you seriously. Don't come in pajama pants. Don't come in shorts. Don't come in flip-flops. It just doesn't set a good impression, first impression. And then second...
All of that has happened.
It has. Absolutely, it has happened. Don't come in... do come in with some questions. Show me that you really care and that you really want to know about the job, about the internship, what it entails, anything that you didn't get out of the job description where it was posted. I think one that stands out in my mind is a very pretty girl came into the interview wearing a skirt that was so short that when she sat down, I had to look away. I was embarrassed for her. So that really stood out in my mind.
The greatest commodity you have to offer a new organization is your own enthusiasm. You know, I'm willing to do anything, I'm willing to work hard. And I had one nice story. I mean, you're not expected to know everything at this stage of your career, but you are expected to want to learn everything. So I had a student that worked at an internship at Women's Wear Daily. That was her only internship. She was at the business desk. And then when she got out of Hofstra, she interviewed at Forbes magazine. And the guy said, well, and so her only experience is business of fashion, and now she's at a business magazine. He goes, well, we don't have any openings in fashion, but we do need a business of aviation, you know, someone to cover the aviation business. And she said, and he goes, what do you know about that? And she said, I have to be honest, I know nothing about the aviation business, but if you hire me, I will make it my life's work 24/7 to learn everything there is to know about the aviation business. And he hired her. So it's just bringing that enthusiasm to the table.
Yeah, I'll say for us, you know, our internships are unpaid, and there's a reason for that. This internship, we're not asking you to make coffee, make copies, you know, do the job of someone else. We're teaching and training you, and this is, you know, such an opportunity. And I think that's where that difference comes in, because it is a learning environment. You know, you learn the things that you learn in your classes, and you come here and you see them applied in real life, in the real industry. And, you know, the time and energy it takes for the people who are there, who you're shadowing, to train you, to teach you, to make sure you know how things are going, you know, that's what that is. We're evaluating you and all of those things. So it's just an extension of your education and really kind of seeing it hands-on. So for us, that's what's so important about this internship. We're not trying to get extra staff to go out and shoot stuff for us. If that were the case, then it would be paid, but this is a complete learning environment, and that's why we make it, you know, part of the school. You have to get academic credit for our internship. There's no way that is, you know, one of the requirements. If you can't get credit, there's no way we could bring you on as an intern, and that's why, because you are learning while you're with us.
And
We
then
have a
here's
few
12.
paid internships. We have a few paid internships, but everything else you have to have a credit.
Absolutely.
And at News 12, we never send you out alone to do anything, because you're not an employee. You'll always be sent out with someone else, if you're either with a reporter, so they're gonna be explaining how to do a good stand-up, or with a photographer to get an MOS, or with, you know, a producer, and they're teaching you how to really do it. You're side by side with someone, you know, could be an Emmy award-winning journalist, you know, that you're learning from. And we have had interns whose work ended up on air because it was good enough. If it's not, it's not. It doesn't make it. But if it's good, it's going on air. And that's such a thrill to an intern to see their work end up on air. It's just a great learning experience. It's so much more than you get out of a classroom environment by actually doing it. And at News 12, we're non-union, so our interns are able to use the equipment. They can handle the cameras. They can handle all of the equipment. You know, we allow them to do everything that they are interested in learning about. And that's why the demand is so high to intern at News 12.
But I recommend it? I've always, as board member, of course, please come to the next meeting. Well, there is an annual awards program. There's two things that, for networking opportunities for any journalism program, any Long Island journalist. There's an annual awards program in June 5th. It's going to be at the Woodbury Country Club right nearby. It's actually a pretty good one because it's going to be our first Hall of Fame, Long Island Journalism Hall of Fame. We're inducting Pat.
Really? I
Yes.
didn't know.
Yes.
When is this?
June
On
5th?
June 5th.
Awesome.
And Mr. Dolan, too. We realized that he was a
Did they
past
agree?
recipient.
Did they agree to that?
No, he decided, no, it's a choice.
When he says we, he means the Press Club of Long Island, which is our local branch of the Society for Professional Journalists, which is the main professional organization of working journalists.
Right, yeah, it's the largest journalism organization in the country. In absentia if necessary. But that's a big one. That's going to be about 200 people or so, professional journalists from across Long Island. And then we have another program. It is in December. I don't know the date at this point, but it's a holiday show, and another 150 people or so.
Okay, well, I really want to thank you guys so much for being here. It was really helpful. And